But the nice thing about the house, beyond providing just a roof over your head and meals, is that other families understand what you're going through.
So last fall, we loaded up the car and drove 10 hours for what was supposed to be a quick family trip to Disneyland. We were celebrating Miles' 3rd birthday before Lucy was supposed to be born, and we had planned to stay for 3 days. Instead, our lives changed overnight. The night before we were supposed to drive home, Molly went into preterm labor, and within hours, she was rushed to the hospital. Our daughter Lucy was born by emergency C-section at just 29 weeks. She weighed 3 pounds. Suddenly, nothing looked the way that we had planned, and all of a sudden, it was my job to make a big pivot. Where are we going to stay? How long are we going to be here? What are we going to do next? So before this happened, I didn't know a single thing about the Ronald McDonald House, and honestly, I thought there was kind of no way we were going to qualify for this. I assumed it was income-based. I thought it wasn't even worth applying, and I pictured something more like a dorm or a hostel or something like that. But after the Airbnb I booked didn't work out, I was scrambling, trying to figure out logistics of what we were going to do. I mean, we were stuck living here now for the foreseeable future, and I was overwhelmed and pretty desperate, and that's when I agreed to Molly that we should just go check out the house. So Miles and I, Molly was still in the hospital, Miles and I went and checked it out, and I mean, it felt like a 5-star hotel. And so suddenly I didn't have to spend every minute solving problems. The house gave me something that I desperately needed, which it gave me my time back, so that now that there's a roof over our heads, meals are taken care of, there was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders that I could spend that time supporting my family. We have the benefit, Molly and I do, of hindsight, which is now, our daughter, she's doing great. I mean, she's over 15 pounds now. And we couldn't be more grateful. But while we were going through this, I mean, we were living essentially day to day. We didn't know what the next day was gonna bring to us. She was born at 3 pounds. I mean, we were essentially stuck in this place that we didn't know for at least 12 weeks. And that story, we're just one family of several. That anxiety, that daily anxiety of not knowing what the next day is going to bring, I mean, that permeated through the entire house. I say that just to say that, what you guys what are providing, I mean, what the house provides to families like ours, we can't be more grateful. So thank you.
I'm going to share a little bit from my perspective. I'm Molly again. So Justin and Miles actually went to the house first while I was still in the hospital. And Lucy was in the NICU, and I was postpartum, recovering physically and emotionally, and that's just not how anyone pictures a postpartum experience, right? Like, postpartum is hard enough, but to have a baby unexpectedly at 29 weeks in a different state, it truly felt like a nightmare to me. It kind of helped, though, because Justin came back to the hospital, and he was like, this house is amazing. Like, it's going to be amazing. He was like, you're going to get there, they have all this stuff for Miles, it's going to be amazing, and I was like, okay. It kind of helped me relax that he found a place where we were gonna be okay. And when you're going through something like that, it's really hard to explain to someone who hasn't been through it. But the nice thing about the house, beyond providing just a roof over your head and meals, is that other families understand what you're going through. So as soon as I got out of the hospital, I went to the house. I met another mom, her name was Catherine. And she came up to me and she was like, you just got out of the hospital, didn't you? And she looked at me and she said, I know it's really scary right now, but you're gonna get through it and it's gonna be okay. And other people had told me that in the hospital, nurses and my family, but I didn't really believe it until I heard it from someone who had also gone through it. And we could have stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel, but it would have never given me that. I would have never had the support like that. And that's when I realized that Ronald McDonald House was so much more than a place to stay. It's a community of people who understand, people who don't need an explanation, people who know what it's like to leave the hospital without your baby. It's a place where families facing some of the hardest days of their lives don't have to face them alone. And for Justin, there was relief from carrying every burden alone. For Miles, they had toys and activities, and people were always checking on him. even though his entire world had been turned upside down. But even now, he still talks about his California house. We do not own a house here. You can't get away from the stress of having a child in the hospital, but having that kind of support really did make all the difference for us. We are so lucky and grateful that the Ronald McDonald House exists. It took an awful experience in our lives and made it just a little bit easier to get through. And Ronald McDonald House will truly always be a part of our story and part of our lives, and of course part of Lucy's story, and we will always be grateful that it was there when we needed it the most. So really, truly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all you did, and just thank you for your support.